Hey there, Susan Lazar-Hart here, your congruency coach, creator of the Congruent Life Method and the Congruent Living Academy and the Congruent Living Self-Assessment. Oh my goodness, welcome 2024. This month on Ask Susan, your transformational motivational moment, we are playing with choice creates. That's our theme for the month. And with that theme in mind, we have a question from Paula, who is a member of the Congruent Living community. So Paula says, how can I trust the changes I'm seeking? Well, Paula, you're not alone in this journey. We've all been there, super excited to make changes. You know, some people take a whole calendar out and fill it up with everything they're going to be doing for the next year. Some people make resolutions. What I often do is write myself a letter and then put it away for the year, which is actually what we just did in the Congruent Living Academy. And the letter is asking yourself, what is it that I want to be creating and how do I want that to feel by the end of 2024? So write it down, put it in a letter, put it away, and trust that if you're willing to be present with what you're asking for, it's funny, it shows up. So I actually stumbled upon a letter I wrote last year, and I looked at it and I was like, dang, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. I detailed my business targets. I wanted to have a book by the end of 2023. I wanted to use it as a calling card. I wanted to have it explain to people what the congruent method is all about and the willingness to go in to discover ourselves rather than out. I wanted to surround myself with nurturing people. And most importantly, I wrote down how I wanted to feel by the end of this year. Again, to my surprise, I accomplished what I had set out to do. It changed a lot from other years when I'd written myself this letter and it was like, yeah, sure. So what changed here? It was my approach. I asked myself, who would I have to be to truly honor my word to myself? Who would I have to be to write that book? Well, I knew that I love to work with accountability, with co-creation. So I found an accountability buddy. I found a publisher. What else am I asking of myself? To reach out to who I know I truly be. So I started studying Akashic Records, tapping into the mediumship that I have, tapping in, not out, tapping in. So in previous years, I'd focused on specific goals, and I call them goals. I don't like the word. Goal to me is like the end zone where the ball goes in and that's it. And everybody goes, yeah. I love the word targets because targets shift and change. And generally, who we were at the beginning of the year, it's not who we are at the end. And there is no end. And we do shift and change. But what is congruent is our values, what brings us joy. So the difference was this time I centered my vision when I wrote myself a letter on my future self and the dreams, desires, and the creations I was willing to commit to body, mind, and soul. And I'm going to repeat that. Are you often say, what would you love? Are you willing to commit to that? If you're not, let's check out and see what's going on, right? So that's where the trust comes in, Paula. It's the willingness to say, so truth, yes, I would love this, and this by the end of 2024. What am I willing to commit to? What would bring me joy, right? And how would that feel, right? How would that feel? So I'll leave that one with you and all of you listening to help you kickstart this new year and start making choices that truly align with the life you love. Here are a few handful of suggestions that I use with my clients. And guess what? I'm going to be going deeper on this January 11th for this amazing Thursday event I've created for you, where I'll be hosting a free class on creating a life you love with introducing you to more of the congruent method. My gift to you, January 11th, go to susanlazarhart.com/CLA and I'll give you that again at the end. So let's dive in. I'm going to roll up my sleeves as I always do. Number one, focus on what you already have. We all know that appreciation actually creates. If you're holding on to a story of what you don't have, it's like, you're holding on to it because that's maybe who you've decided you are, or you bought that's who you are from what other people tell you. Don't you know that this is your story? When I created heavy metal poisoning from being a painter, there would be years would pass and people say, well, how are you? Or what are you painting? Nobody was actually interested in how I truly be, and what I'm creating now. That's their story, not mine. I don't have to buy it as true and real. I can focus on what I have, the appreciation that people have for the work that I was doing, and I can turn it around to being grateful that I get this kind of feedback of people appreciating what I have done, and that I can actually live in the abundance of my life, my living, the appreciation. See, abundance isn't something you acquire. It's something you tune into. It's about receiving it, right? So start noticing what you're willing to receive, what you're not willing to receive about who you be. Focus on and truly appreciate what's currently in your life. So you might say, well, this year I'm going to focus on the people I love, the fact that I'm healthy, and know that I'm in charge of where I steer my life. And I'm going to appreciate that I know that about myself. Number 2, use your imagination for creation. Please, imagination is a powerful thing. It can either show you the most catastrophic scenario, if you buy your stories as true and real, or it allows you to play and explore and create in your mind. Your imagination can either be your greatest tool in turning your dreams and your desires into a reality, or your greatest roadblock. I actually touch on that in my book, Breaking Free. There's a whole chapter on what if and how we can choose to use what if as a story, as something that holds us back, or we can use what if as in wonderment. So I encourage you to go out. If you haven't already read the book, read it. Breaking Free, Your Unique Path to Fearless Living. Available at your bookstores and Amazon. Use your imagination not to destroy. Use it to stir faith, not doubt. Use it to become a force for good, both for yourself and those around you. For example, instead of focusing on everything that could go wrong, whether it's starting your business, playing with your body, playing with somebody else's body, right? Imagine how fulfilled you will feel. It's about the feels when you're actually lined up with what brings you joy and how you're creating. Number 3, please, please, please stop comparing yourself to others. There's so many classes and this and that that came out in the last week or 2 weeks, right before Christmas, right after Christmas, and then now. Don't fall into the trap of comparison. You are creating your life in a way you're exactly where you need to be right now. What can I learn from today is a great question to ask yourself before you go to sleep. Not going down a rabbit hole, but actually not by comparing yourself to others, with gratitude and appreciation. Remember, we don't grow green grass by focusing on our neighbor's lawn. We do it by nurturing ourselves, and we are the flowers in our own garden. So what nurturing do you require? If you're comparing your behind the scenes to somebody else's moment, which you've decided is their greatest moment, you will not be honoring you, your garden, your creation, right? So instead, choose to honor your life by creating, investing in, and caring for it. Simply keep your eyes on your garden and the ripples that creates, right? Yeah. Number 5, last one, I think, for now. Embrace vulnerability. So embracing vulnerability is a pivotal choice on this path of personal growth and this path of deeper connection to yourself and ultimately creating a life you truly love. A choice that I hope you will choose in considering, in growing with your life and your living, in working with your coach, your mentor, whoever that is, that you use to create a greater life. I recently had the privilege of witnessing the power of this choice on one of my coaching clients. They were grappling with feelings of inadequacy, both professionally and personally. And it's a common struggle that people kind of lob everything all together and then build a wall around themselves so they can't get hurt, right? And they hold on to their stories, as we've talked about. You can list everything. They compare themselves to others. Well, the willingness to be vulnerable is to lower your barriers and open up to you, right? By being in the question. And eventually, as we work together, they found the courage to embrace their vulnerability and share in how it truly felt. And ask, what is it that I'd like to create 6 months from now, a year from now? And then how does that feel? And once we got to the feels, then we could get to the actionable parts. But it's tapping in to who you truly be and how that feels and what you would like to create with that feeling. Because remember, feelings are not something that are stuck. Feelings are movement, they're ongoing. So what happened next was truly inspiring. Their choice to be vulnerable led to a profound empowerment, transformation, a sense of relief, and a deeper connection to themselves and to those that they loved and to what they're asking to create. Now, remember, embracing vulnerability is a conscious choice. It can serve as a catalyst for positive change or not. It's your choice. When you choose vulnerability, you choose strength, connection, and the power to create a life that aligns with your deepest desires. Remember, it's not about perfection, but it's about congruency, consistency, harmony. Choosing one or two of these areas to focus on, build from there. And this year, let your choices guide you towards a life you desire, because it's time to set yourself up for success. In moments like these, the power of mindfulness and mindset tools become essential. They serve as our guiding light, helping us observe our patterns without judgment and prompting us to ask these critical questions. You know, I love questions. Are we staying true to our own values? Are you staying true to your own values as you go to create what you'd like to create this year? Paula, that would be my question for you and for all of you listening. Are you in love with what you're asking to create? Or are you infatuated with it because somebody had told you to do that, or you saw somebody else create that? Appreciation for who you be. The first step towards transformation lies in choosing to invest in ourselves. It's about healing our wounds and nurturing a loving relationship with our own being. Now, this forms the foundation of the Congruent Living Method, where we learn the significance of honoring, the significance of being, the significance of the relationships and creating relationships that nurture us first before anyone else. So if this message resonates with you, it's time to redirect your energy to prioritize self-nurturing. So embrace mindful practices that we've been talking about and what I will be giving you more of January 11th on Thursday. It's time to cultivate a mindset that reinforces your self-worth. So I'm extending this heartfelt invitation to you. Come and join me. Take back your power. It's my invitation to you for congruent living. SusanLazarHart.com/CLA. Let's unlock the door to a year filled with personal growth and harmony. Here's a question for you. What if you began this year with expert guidance in personal transformation and learned the art of choosing with wisdom and clarity? What would that create for you? I wonder. You deserve to be chosen just as you choose, with intention, love, and respect for who you truly be. So let's set out on this transformative journey together. Register at SusanLazarHart.com/CLA and step into congruent living, where your choices are a reflection of your truest self and your relationships are a testament to your self-honor. Here's to seeing you on Thursday. Here's to embracing a life you love that aligns with your deepest dreams, hopes, desires, wants, and needs. Live boldly. Live boldly. That's a choice. Love greatly. That's a choice. And be that fearless leader that you came here to be. One who's willing to trust that when they choose, that will definitely create more with their imagination, more with abundance, more with who they truly be, and more vulnerability in tapping into their heart, in tapping into their soul, in tapping into who and what they came here to be. And that's you. Know that I love you. I will be here every Monday, and specifically January 11th. I can't wait to see you and hear your questions. And if you have extra questions, pop them in right here. I check in every day. That's what Ask Susan's all about. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.